Ever get that feeling like you're about to kind of fall down the rabbit
Oh,
hole?
yeah.
Today, we're right there with you, diving headfirst into the FBI files of the Zodiac Killer.
Wow.
And let me tell you, it's a maze. Cryptic messages, unsettling details, enough twists and turns to rival any thriller.
Right?
Forget the History Channel documentaries.
Yeah.
We're going straight to the source.
Really?
You'll be right there with investigators sifting through reports, letters,
Uh-huh.
even attempted code breaks.
Really?
It's like getting a glimpse into a serial killer's mind.
It's fascinating, these files, how they expose not just the crimes,
Right.
but the chilling game of wits the Zodiac played. With law enforcement and the media, it becomes less about the who and more about the why.
It's true.
What motivated this elaborate, terrifying performance?
The guy was a master showman.
Yeah.
But before we get lost in the theatrics,
Right.
let's quickly revisit the stage.
Okay.
Late 1960s, San Francisco Bay Area.
You've got these seemingly random murders, then bam, the letters start arriving.
Oh, wow.
And it's in that very first communication, August 1st, 1969, addressed to the San Francisco Examiner, that the killer adopts his infamous moniker.
This is the
Zodiac speaking.
This is the Zodiac speaking. Wow.
Talk about making an entrance, right?
That's where his motives get truly intriguing. This wasn't just about eliminating victims. It was about crafting an image, controlling a narrative, the cryptic messages, the ciphers. It's like he saw himself as some kind of puppeteer,
Oh, yeah.
with the media and police dancing to his tune.
And dance they did, especially when it came to those ciphers. We've got one in particular,
Yeah.
the 408 symbol cipher.
Right.
That's been analyzed and debated for decades. It's like the holy grail of code breaking,
It's like the Holy Grail.
with some claiming to have cracked it, but the mystery remains. Was it really the Zodiac who created it?
And that uncertainty plays into the bigger enigma of the case. Even if someone did solve the 408, there's no guarantee it definitively reveals his identity. He could be toying with us even now, decades later.
Especially since we have examples like Donald Hardin from Salinas.
Right.
The files actually contain a 1969 article from the Vallejo Times-Herald featuring Hardin's supposed decipherment. Can you imagine thinking you've cracked the code, only to realize it might not have been the real deal?
It's like chasing a ghost, which might have been exactly what the Zodiac wanted. Remember that letter to the San Francisco Examiner where he taunted, "That wasn't the cipher on my name." He'd practically reveled in the chaos and speculation he created.
Okay, so we've got a killer who craves an audience, who uses terror as his stage.
Right.
But let's get granular. What can the actual files tell us about his methods? We've got the case of Cecilia Ann Shepard, a truly tragic story. The FBI files have a whole report analyzing fingerprints found on a 3-page letter discovered at the crime scene. What's striking isn't just the presence of prints, but their potential to unlock new clues.
Exactly. Every detail matters.
Yeah.
And with forensic technology constantly advancing, those prints could be re-examined,
Yeah.
potentially revealing new links or even leading to a suspect pool never considered before. It's like they were piecing together a jigsaw puzzle. In the dark, with only a few pieces visible
Right.
at a time. Imagine trying to make sense of those cryptic messages with the limited tools they had back then.
Talk about a technological time warp.
I know.
Today we've got AI, advanced algorithms crunching data.
Right.
Back then they were relying on typewriters and snail mail.
And speaking of limited technology,
Right.
those files highlight the sheer manpower involved in this investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the FBI's meticulous lab reports.
Yeah. Right.
The Vallejo Police Department's tireless pursuit of leads,
Yeah.
all while trying to decipher messages that seem to be written in a whole other language.
It makes you appreciate the dedication.
It really does.
Right. But it also makes you wonder, amid this mountain of data, did they miss something?
You know, that's a good question.
The files mention a ton of correspondence from the public,
Right.
people claiming to have cracked the code, offering tips, even reporting possible sightings. Did they truly have the resources to chase down every lead, especially in those pre-digital days?
It's a question that continues to fuel speculation.
Right.
One intriguing detail from the files
Okay.
is a note about the Vallejo Police Department sending handwriting samples to the FBI. In October of '69,
Okay.
they were clearly exploring every possible avenue, including early forms of profiling.
It's like they were trying to get inside the killer's head, literally. But handwriting analysis was still in its infancy back then.
Right.
Did those samples reveal anything useful? Or were they just another dead end?
The files don't provide a definitive answer,
Right.
which adds another layer to the mystery.
Right.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They weren't just focused on handwriting.
Yeah.
The Vallejo police actually had a possible suspect in their sights,
Oh, wow. Really?
even going so far as to send fingerprints to the FBI
Eh.
for comparison.
Wait, they had a suspect.
They did.
And they were confident enough to circulate a description to the media warning the public that he was armed and dangerous. Imagine the tension in the Bay Area back then,
Oh, absolutely.
knowing the shadowy figure was still out there.
It's a chilling thought,
Yeah.
especially considering the media landscape at the time.
Right.
Forget instant news and social media updates.
Right.
People were relying on newspapers and radio broadcasts, anxiously waiting for any scrap of information.
And you know, the Zodiac played on that fear.
Oh, we did.
Remember that eerie phone call he allegedly made to Melvin Bella?
The celebrity lawyer.
Yes.
The FBI files actually mention a tip from a woman in Atlanta
Okay.
who claimed the voice on that call sounded exactly like someone she knew in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Talk about potential bombshell.
It's incredible how this case continues to throw curveballs,
Right.
even decades later.
I know.
Did they ever follow up on that tip? Did that lead go anywhere? It speaks to the sheer volume of information and the challenge of separating genuine clues from noise.
It's almost as if the Zodiac wanted to create a hall of mirrors,
Right.
with every reflection leading to another dead end.
He wanted to control the narrative, even in his absence.
Right.
And to some extent, he succeeded. The Zodiac case isn't just about unsolved murders. It's a cautionary tale
Yeah.
about the power of fear, the allure of the unknown,
Right.
and the fine line between notoriety and infamy.
And it's a stark reminder that behind every cryptic message, every chilling detail, there were real victims.
Oh, absolutely.
Real families forever marked by tragedy. Precisely. We can get so caught up in the ciphers and the psychological chess match
Right.
that we forget the human cost. Those files contain heartbreaking details,
Yeah.
like the report on the murder of Cecilia Ann Shepard,
Of course.
reading about the brutality of her death,
Right.
and the fact that her killer was never brought to justice,
Right.
really grounds you in the reality of what happened.
Yeah. It's a sobering reminder that this wasn't a game.
No.
And there were other victims,
Mhm.
like Michael Mageau and Brian Hartnell, who survived their encounters but carry the scars,
Right?
both physical and emotional.
Their stories remind us that the impact of these crimes extends far beyond the headlines. It's a ripple effect that touches families, communities, and even those who followed the case from afar.
It's like, these echoes of these crimes, they reverberate through time, touching us even now.
Yeah.
We grapple with the same questions, feel a chill when we read those taunting letters.
Right.
Speaking of which, it's almost impossible to discuss the Zodiac without circling back to that central question.
Right.
Who was he?
Yeah.
Do these files offer any new insights, any clues that might finally crack the case wide open?
You know, that's the million-dollar question,
Right.
isn't it? While there's no smoking gun in these files,
Might.
they do provide a tantalizing glimpse into the investigative process, the dead ends,
Uh-huh.
the near misses.
You're
Take
right.
the handwriting analysis, for example. Today, we have far more sophisticated techniques for analyzing handwriting.
Right.
It makes you wonder if those same samples, re-examined
Mm.
with modern technology,
Right.
could yield new leads.
It's like those forensic files shows where a seemingly insignificant detail suddenly becomes the key to unlocking the entire case.
Right. Exactly.
But we're talking about decades-old evidence.
Right.
Is there even a chance that something as fragile as a fingerprint or a DNA sample could have
Yeah.
survived intact?
It's certainly a long shot, but not entirely outside the realm of possibility. Forensic science has made incredible strides in recent years, particularly when it comes to extracting and analyzing degraded DNA. And remember, the FBI continues to receive tips about the Zodiac case to this day.
I know, it's crazy.
It's entirely possible that someone somewhere holds a crucial piece of the puzzle.
It's like that saying, every case is solvable. It's
Right.
just a matter of finding the right clue.
Right.
But then there's that other side of me.
Yeah.
The one that wonders if the Zodiac, always 10 steps ahead, wanted us to find these files, to get lost in the maze of his creation.
Ooh. That's an unsettling thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think that he might have anticipated our fascination,
Right.
our relentless pursuit of answers,
Yeah.
even after all these years.
Right.
Did he find some perverse satisfaction in knowing that we'd still be pondering his cryptic messages,
Right.
debating his motives long after he was gone?
It's almost as if he wanted to achieve a kind of twisted immortality, not through grand gestures or monuments, but through the enduring power of mystery.
Right.
And in a way, he succeeded. The Zodiac case continues to captivate us, to spark our imaginations, to remind us that some puzzles may never be fully solved.
And that's the enduring legacy of the Zodiac, isn't it? He forced us to confront the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of everyday life,
Yeah.
the unsettling realization that some mysteries may never be fully explained.
Right.
He became a symbol of the unknown, a cautionary tale about the seductive power of fear and the elusive nature of truth.
So where does that leave us?
Right.
Surrounded by these files, these glimpses into the mind of a killer, with more questions than answers. What we do know is this. The Zodiac case isn't just about solving a crime. It's about grappling with the unknown, about confronting our own fascination with macabre. It's about acknowledging that some stories don't have neat endings, that some mysteries linger long after the final page is turned.
Right.
What do you think? Does the mystery of the Zodiac Killer end here in these files? Or is there more to uncover? We'd love to hear your theories.